I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again, as I make sure this microphone's still on. I don't know why it's so much darker. It's weird. Well, this review's starting off great, but this is a paid request from Guillermo. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the, like I said, for Guillermo, Ferocious Planet. And I didn't realize one of my dear friends, Michael Keane, the Choice Voice, he actually reviewed this film on his channel as part of his B-Movie Mania. And this was a movie made for Sci-Fi. Stars a guy named Joe Flanagan, who did the show Stargate Atlantis, which I didn't watch. And it was alright. For a Sci-Fi Channel film, it was not as bad as I thought it would be. So it's not a rant. I mean, it's not great. I never picked it up for my collection. It still has really bad CGI. The supporting characters don't have the best acting chops. But it was short. It was decently paced. Kind of always on the move. And it was what they call a time waster. You sit there, you can watch it, time goes by, and it's not constant subplots, it's not political messages, it's not... It keeps the action flowing, which is probably the best you could do for this kind of movie. The setup is military has this device to observe altered dimensions, which is funny because the senator there is John Rhys-Davies, who was on the TV show Sliders. They even have a line, felt like we were sliding. And then, again, John Rhys-Davies from Sala, from Raiders of the Lost Ark, he was on the TV show Sliders. I guarantee that's why that line was put in there. But he's not in the film too long, which is too bad. But something goes wrong. Pieces of the building and the people inside, they get transported. And so outside it's this wilderness. Bunch of trees, bunch of leaves and shit. And there's this creature that, it's not good CGI. See, that's the thing with Sci-Fi Channel films. I wish they would employ more practical effects. Or at least a mix of the two. Because I've seen films back in the day that went straight to video and they were able to employ them. Films like The Deadly Spawn that cost a couple nickels. Films, there's this film called The Kindred, there's a film called The Being. All these films that are not that well known but were made in the 80s. Even the 90s, there's a film called Aberration from 1997. Pretty decent, fun creature feature flick. Done practically. Not the biggest budgets, but at least there's a charm to it. Here, The only charm I could say is the design, the look, because it's kind of a dinosaur T-Rex, but not really. It has these weird eyes on the side. It has almost spider-like mandibles, and like I said, it's an interest. Like the vertebrae is showing on the back, so it's an interesting design. You just wish there was some practicality involved in it. Well, a mask or an animatronic or stuff for the close-ups, that would have helped quite a bit. But again, it's not too long where they go in and then they're attacked and they have to fend themselves off and they have to figure out how they get back, what they need to do next. They search out, they find parking meters inside of trees. I will say the lead guy, Joe Flanagan, didn't do too bad of a job. I'm not the most familiar with the actor, but he had a decent personality to him. He had at times moments of decent levity. You know, I like the moment where he's got to help this guy from the quicksand, and then he's getting pulled in, and then this other person has to help both of them out. That was a bit of a funny scene. Hey, Pilates 6 days a week. I'll help you out. And like I said, it keeps the action fairly moving, like throwing a fire extinguisher and shooting it in the bid. It's not a dinosaur, but I'll just call it a dino for just easy sake. You're into his mouth, or the roof is collapsing. There's a point where there's this little creature early on that is shot down and has, seems like acid for blood. Just someone pokes the shit gets on their face and melts their face. And the other one goes, remember, don't poke the alien. So I mean, it has a sense where maybe someone in the production, whether it be the director, whether it be the writer, they kind of knew sort of what movie they were making, and they said, okay, it's not going to be Shakespeare, it's not going to be aliens, but you know, keep the movie moving along at a decent enough pace. And like the primary actors were fine for what they had to do, whether it be the lady who works the machine, this other lady who's sort of this doctor, scientist. They keep calling her Doc. Like I said, the Joe Flanagan, there's the other guy who's the black guy, so you could guess what happens to him. But that actor did fine. And then some of the other lesser supporting actors, take them or leave them. Its budget does show. There's a part where someone gets impaled, but it looks like someone put a hole here and then put the thing in, and then it looks like they're just holding it with their armpit. I imagine... What the hell could I use? Okay, this. Like, okay, imagine I have a hole in the shirt. I'm not going to rip it. But, oh, I'm impaled. JC, I'm impaled. And just imagine it's through the hole of the shirt. I'm impaled. That's what it looks like. And it's like, okay, it just looks like the guy's just holding it under his armpit. It's not like here or so. So I'm like, oh, okay. So that's what I mean. It's not a great movie, but the primary actors, the decent pacing, it's not like a film where nothing happens for 30 minutes, then you get like a 20-second action scene, then nothing happens for 20 minutes. Sometimes that's the pitfall of some of these low budget or sci-fi channel films. Or the actors are even worse. Because like the cast here is above average from some of the other sci-fi channel films. Because I'm not a big sci-fi channel fan. There have been films that have premiered on sci-fi. Dead and Deader with Dean Cain, I think is a decent zombie film for what it is. You know, there's been other... Can't think of it off the top of my head. So I guess it's the best way to put it. It's an above average sci-fi channel flick. And yeah, there's big questions you're thinking, like, there's no other animals or no other beasts, so what the fuck was this thing eating? Because these guys arrived and the creature wants to eat all of them. Seems like it's a meat eater. There's no other creatures. So what the... Well, I guess the one thing at the beginning, but no other creatures you see, so what the fuck was he eating? So it'd be nice if he had other little creatures pop up. Use some practical effects. I mean, again, you throw a rock, you'll hit a film in the 80s and early 90s that had creature effects that were not multi-million-dollar productions. So I don't know why Sci-Fi Channel can't... You think that would be the primary focus of the budget? Because it's not like this had a lot of different sets. I mean, it was either inside the building or wherever they shot, where there's a bunch of fucking trees and little stream later on. There's, again, not a lot of... The sets were definitely not the biggest part of the budget. Let me put it that way. And like I said, the movie goes where they need to find water, then they need to find Freon for this device. This one doctor goes off, and I didn't mind where... I didn't mind what they did with her. I guess I'll go into spoilers, but before I go into that, again, at the end of the day, this is a film that has a cool cover, interesting design on the creature. I just wish it was practical. Cast is above average. It's a short film. It's not too boring. And it's above average. Like, there's this film, I'm not sure if this was on Sci-Fi Channel. It was called Skeleton Man, which I'll probably put above this. Skeleton Man was a film starring Michael Rooker. I think Casper Van Dien was in it for a little bit, but Michael Rooker was the star. It was kind of like a low-budget Predator movie, but the killer is not an alien, but a skeleton man. An undead skeleton man who wouldn't die, and Michael Rooker has to go kick his ass. Like, that's, again, a decent time waster if you're not expecting The Hidden, or The Terminator, or Predator. But yeah, if you know its budget, you know it's what you're expecting, and you have lowered expectations, you know, okay, this is fun for what it is. So like Skeleton Man, that's a film that I think might have been on Sci-Fi Channel, but I liked that film. And yeah, again, I would put that above this because it's Michael Rooker. The creature, well, I don't know if, I guess you call him a creature. That was done practical. That seemed like it had a bit more gore in it. I don't know why I thought of Skeleton Man, but I'm like, hey, makes me want to watch Skeleton Man again. You know, that was another decent time waster. This, spoiler alert, of course I knew the black guy would die, and he did. Has a decent body count. The one female dot, she sees this building across the way. She goes off. But I do like the idea that they don't make her a villain. And, you know, the Joe Flanagan explains, well, we gotta go over here, and we don't have much time, and we can't wait for you. And she's like, I understand. But she wants this once-a-lifetime opportunity as a scientist to see alien life that's smarter than this creature. And it becomes pointless because she gets there and she realizes it's just a part of their building that just got teleported over there. But I guess I like the fact in another film they would have made her some one-dimensional villain. No, I must do my research. They didn't. Like, she's the one who helped save them from the quicksand. You know, she argues she wants to do this, but she doesn't fuck them over. You know, she was naive, but kind of felt bad for her. I like the last bit where, yeah, looks like what the time is. More than likely, I'm not going to make it. But you know what? I'm near this building, and yeah, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I like the lead guy who's a colonel, and they say good luck to each other. That was a nice bit. That was a nice, humane bit that, again, with low expectations, again, it was nice little... I won't go so far to say heartwarming, but it was a nice little decent scene. And okay, yeah, again, her and the the actors did their best for what they were given. The ending was a bit weird because they did, spoiler alert, him and the girl who created the machine, they get back, they look outside, they see that something's wrong, she goes, you go first, and then it cuts. So the ending is not really satisfying. You're probably led to believe that the machine fucked up something in their world, and so I don't know if it transported creatures to their world, or there's other dimensions. We'll never know, because there's not a sequel. I don't know if they were thinking there may be a sequel. But I'm like, did you really need to end it that way? Kind of a lame duck fuck of an ending. So that's me. It's maybe like a 2.5 out of 5 star film. Maybe, it's alright, but some weird pieces of dialogue. Like Joel Flanagan looks at two people. You two, Beavis Butthead, get these bodies into storage. It's not every day you think of a colonel calling someone Beavis and Butthead. Or one soldier is talking to the other, hey, that girl, you tapping that? I'm not sure if that's how soldiers talk. You tapping that? Maybe that's why the guy got eaten, for using the word tapping, for tapping that ass. Well, the guys are just tapped your ass with a bunch of your own fucking bones on your fucking skull. But like I say, it's nothing that made me mad. Nothing made me mad. I'm like, I've seen so much worse. Easygoing, non-boring. It has enough action, enough decent parts with the cast, and it was short enough. I guess you could say he did the bare minimum to make it semi-entertaining as a time waster. I don't know how else to put it than that. Again, above average for a Sci-Fi Channel movie. Not average? There's really not average. It's either total shit or once in a while better than I thought. There ain't no in between with Sci-Fi Channel. At least with the SYFY. Back in the day, Sci-Fi Channel was worth the shit and showed stuff worth the shit. But that goes with all channels. MTV used to be worth the shit. Sci-Fi Channel used to be worth the shit. A lot of stuff used to be worth the shit. Nowadays, not really. Like, who the fuck watches Sci-Fi Channel anymore? I don't know. Because those movies are cut. You just watch them on VOD, uncut. So, again, I don't know who the fuck watches Sci-Fi Channel anymore. You can let me know. But with that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.